In any society, elections and democracy are like Siamese twins, as elections serve as the bedrock of any democratic setting. Nigeria has been an independent entity for 58 years now, and for 19 of those years, the country has experienced uninterrupted democracy, a democracy built on the foundation of elections first conducted in 1999. Another election year is fast approaching. 133 days to the 2019 general election, the country has become a beehive of activities, especially with political parties conducting their primaries nationwide. The People's Democratic Party is currently holding its national convention in Port Harcourt, where its 2019 presidential candidate will emerge. Good afternoon and welcome to another episode of Standpoint. I am Veronica Danik-Boy. My panelists are in the studio. We have Bola Oba. He is a political analyst. Olayinka Oladaniel is a lawyer and a political analyst. Agba Jalingo is a public affairs commentator, and Jermaine Sanwo-Olu is a public affairs analyst. Is a full house this afternoon. Good afternoon, gentlemen. Thanks for coming on the program.
Good afternoon.
All right, during the week, political parties had their governorship, national and state houses of assembly primaries. Those of Nigeria's two biggest political parties, that is the All Progressives Congress and the People's Democratic Party, didn't go down without some drama. In some states, two governorship candidates emerged on the platform of the same party. In other states, protests and jubilation greeted the emergence of some aspirants as the candidates of the party. I'll start with you, Bola. It doesn't seem to be a smooth ride for these parties, so to speak, leading to 2019.
That is inevitable.
Why so?
It's inevitable because, come to think of it, the two main political parties are generally seen by aspirants and I call them politicalpreneurs, are generally seen by these people to be the two most viable vehicles through which their through which their political aspirations can be achieved. So it becomes inevitable that their primaries would seem like a do-or-die affair. And I'm not one that is disturbed that in most of the primaries at the level of the House of Assembly, especially the National Assembly, House of Reps, Senate, and even the gubernatorial primaries have been somewhat rancorous across the two major political parties. It comes with the territory.
But is that what it's supposed to be looking at? Is it because our democracy is, so to speak, a growing democracy?
The phraseology growing is the most important phraseology in your sentence. It's growing, so we're still having all comers. And these guys are not particularly ones who are respectful of the rule of law. They will be privy to drawing rules, and as soon as they lose, they will start gainsaying everything that instructed putting those rules together. So I am one who is not particularly disturbed. I don't know about my colleagues, but as an observer in this trade, or as an observer in this polity, I'm not who is particularly disturbed about the tantrums of politicians, especially those who have lost out on any contestation.
All right, maybe Agba might be of a different opinion. Are you worried about the trends of things, the intrigues that you are seeing so far on our way to 2019?
I can't be worried at all. As a matter of fact, I think that things are actually better.
Really?
Yes, compared to where we are coming
from. Yes,
yeah, if
relatively,
you look at the statistics, I'm a journalist too, where we go around, we report figures. The figures are falling. The number of people who are dying,
yes,
the volume of violence, yes, all of this is reducing if you compare this to the previous national convention. So I will say that we are improving, so to say, because these people, you see, when they started moving, the last time I was having a discussion, I saw Stella Odua. She left PDP and went to ABGA. And when she was leaving PDP, she said PDP lacked ideology and was full of desperate politicians. And she said people like her needed to defend democracy. And she went to ABGA. And she stayed in ABGA for 3 months. When she couldn't get their ticket to run for election, She left ABGA again and went back to PDP, and she told us again that she thought ABGA had an ideology. And then we saw her, the very first chairman of national chairman of PDP, Barnabas Gemade. He left with the governor of Benue State, Governor Tom, to PDP, thinking he was going to get a ticket to run. And when he got there, of course, the governor negotiated a ticket for only himself. And I think the PDP felt that people have been working already and we can't give everything to you guys. And they denied Barnabas Gemade the ticket. And he left PDP again and said PDP did not have a direction. And he's now in SDP. But one very interesting thing, Veronica, is that after the primaries, all of them will realign again and come back to PDP or APC. They are just looking for tickets. And the moment they are able to get, whether they win or whether they lose, or immediately after the election, once the elections are lost and won,
our democracy thrive with all of this movement, because the essence of democracy is government of the people, by the people, and for the people, which is the major essence.
And Nigerians have to start looking elsewhere. As we are talking now, there's a party I belong to where our national convention is ongoing.
You're advertising.
The African
you are plugging.
it's ongoing as we are talking. So Nigerians must necessarily begin to look elsewhere. That's why when somebody like me said, I am tired of reporting these thieves. God help me, that language. I'm tired of reporting these men.
Yeah, we have to be careful.
I'm tired of reporting them. We need to get involved in politics, but I don't want to associate with these two political parties. As a matter of fact, I had a lot of faith in APC, but you know what? They are one and the same. It is present.
Because it's the same people moving from one.
See, it is easier today for criminals that we thought APC would lock up to move into the APC than to go to prison.
Really?
Yes, it is easier to do, unless you have not stolen good money.
You need to expatiate.
Okay, I will explain.
You need to explain.
I will explain. Ojus Okalu is standing trial, is in APC. Obanikoro is standing trial, is in APC. Can I keep going on? And I'm saying that as a journalist who reported Obanikoro.
You know there are people that, also members of that party, that have been sent to prison.
Oh, yes, of course. But I'm saying that it's easier today. We thought that APC would send them to jail, but it's easier to just move towards that direction now than to go to prison. They are not willing to put anybody in jail anymore. And now that we're doing politics, they are ready to receive anybody. The transfer window is so open that they can sign any player. I cannot
categorically say that, though, but let's bring Jermaine in now. You have been watching things from outside, and how interesting and intriguing has it been for you?
It's very interesting and intriguing too, and I take exception to what my fellow Nigerian says about the APC, being a member of an APC. I believe strongly that the APC represents credibility, represents transparency, represents a progressive ideology which is going to help serve as a foundation for the new Nigeria that we believe we're going to build. Now, it's inevitable for you to see people move from parties to parties in our nascent democracy, but hopefully, as time goes on, ideologically people will separate. As our chairman normally says, Comrade Adams Oshomole, he says, you know what, that the progressives will come together and then the conservatives will actually move, they will separate. And that is what you see happening in our system. And to what my fellow Nigerians said regarding it's easier to come to the APC than go to prison. But you have to understand that there's a rule of law in this country. There's a judicial system. People have to be tried. You can't, because someone makes an allegation against you, that you are going to go to prison immediately. And there's no exclusion. APC is a party that welcomes everyone. Whether you are big, you are small. You can't say because someone is having a trial that you're not going to let someone come into the court. And supposing that person, you are innocent until proven guilty. APC is a party of credible people, for people who want to make Nigeria better and are going to do so. That's why you can see in our primaries, which will be starting shortly, people are coming out to cast their democratic votes and support who they want to become the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria again, which is President Muhammadu Buhari.
All right, we'll come to that. Barrister, you need to lend your voice to all of this, because I saw you smiling earlier.
Well, except we're not in the country, but if we are here and we see what has been happening so far, we can't but agree together that yes, it's a growing system. Democracy. Some people that we look up to, some nations, some countries that we look up to today didn't start just that same day. Some, it took them 100 years. Some took them 200 years over and above. So now, growing this way, yes, it is a good one. But then the question is, the question that Veronica asked earlier, the way they go about it, are we sure we're ready to grow? If a political party does not have an ideology, then a set of people come, join that party because of some personal interest whatsoever, and immediately they find out that they can't get that personal interest they are looking for. They move to another one. Then how do we grow? If you look at a system in the US there, you have the Republican and you have the Democrat. You hardly hear people move from one party to the other. Maybe in a very minute numbers, but you don't hear the way we move. In fact, in Nigeria, a particular person can move in between 5 different parties in 5 months, or in in 1 year. It can't grow that way. 1, we must have an ideology. 2, we must know what we really stand for. What do we want to achieve? Where are we going? If we can be patient, you see, if your candidate does not become president today, if your party does not become the governor today, does not mean that tomorrow it can become one. Now, thank God for the not too young to run bills that has been passed. Yes, President Buhari has said that, okay, you people should wait, not 2019, wait for,
that must have been a joke.
I'm going somewhere. Yeah. That, okay, wait for 2020. But the truth is, yes, are we really ready for 2019 as in to present a candidate, the young ones, a president, to present a president? Maybe we need also time. And what I also say is this: you don't find our people working as a grassroots politicians. Everybody just wants to come from somewhere and just become somebody. Nobody is ready to even pay prices, to become whatever they want to become. The Macron that decided to come up to set up another a political party didn't just do that the same year. There was process that he followed. It was in the system. He saw it. It got to a time, he said, no, we can't go on like this. Then he called his own group of people, and they came up with a political party. They were able to win because there was a process.
Do we have a process in the country? Do we have a process?
That is the challenge we are talking about. It looks as if there is. But my personal opinion, I've not seen one. Like I said, everybody wants to jump. I'm going to look at not too young to run, our own friend, Mr. Showore, and the likes of them, and all that. Fela Drotoye, and I ask. I remember, as I'm here, I've not declared, I've not done anything with any political, but I belong to a CDA. I know what I do there. Grassroots, I meet my people, we talk. I know what I contribute to the community. I'm not a politician yet. I'm not coming out on anything yet. But what we are saying is this. What have you done? Where have you come in to see, okay, this is what I am contributing. This is where we lack one thing or the other. Okay, how do we fix this nation? You don't just wake up and you come in, okay, Mr. Showore was asking a youth to come, the one that can afford 10,000 at least minimum to donate. But I saw write-ups from the same youth saying, oh, they've come again, scam. Why? Because they don't even believe in the cause. And now what happened? How come? You can't blame them for not believing in the cause.
Why shouldn't
Because if he has been in the system, if they've known him, if he has gone around, he has contributed, if he has been clamoring for this over years, not just coming at this time. It's difficult. You see, these people that they believe all politicians are the same. How do you tell them? How do you convince these people that you are not the same people as those people?
Let me
on the presidential candidate.
If you care to let me talk,
please.
Because it's more credible. It's more credible from me than from you.
Let him finish, please.
If you are a youth today in Nigeria and you don't know Showore's antecedent, then you are not a youth.
As simple as that.
You are not a responsible youth.
As simple as that.
Look, you don't necessarily have to have paid your price. In the formal political environment, in the formal political party, he has rich antecedents from his days in university as a student. I'm coming.
I went to the same university. I know him.
You said antecedents. I don't want to know whether you know him. But the way you presented your point was so so intellectually hollow that I think is imperative. And I'm not a supporter of Sowore, to be honest with you. I believe those peripheral candidates are just, but it's good for our democracy. But if any youth in today's Nigeria says he does not know Sowore and his antecedents from student unionism in his university days to pioneering a form of innovative journalism that arrested Nigeria from mainframe journalism that has been sold to money bags, then something is wrong with that youth. That's number one. Number two is that I think Jermaine has been hard done here in this setting. You know why I think Jermaine has been hard done? Jermaine, you were presenting your party APC as though it's the most idyllic, the most idealistic party in Nigeria. Didn't you guys have problems with as I'm talking to you now?
There are issues within
the senatorial Eastern District of Lagos is yet to be settled.
There are issues across the country. There are issues.
So if you're sitting here, Jermaine, and you are talking to this body of Nigerians, as knowledgeable as we are about political affairs, and you are trying to over-romanticize the inner workings of your party. Aha! But you know what? And it's ironic. When people say that our parties don't have ideologies, I even shake my head. You know why I shake my head? Our parties don't have good communicators. They don't have good communicators. They have ideology.
Apart from the APC.
Let me give you a typical example for that.
Yeah.
In the political history of Nigeria, the first party, and I'm not an APC person, the first party that has entrenched a welfarist program well embedded in its program and running it, the National Social Investment Program. You have the one that early engages unemployed graduates, about 500 are in training now. You have the one that says micro, small, and medium entrepreneurs should be supported. They give grants to them, literally, at the grassroots, trying to galvanize economic activities from the bottom up. You have one that says, even medium-scale businesses, and you have emphasis. What better ideological this thing could that be predicated upon than the conviction?
Which party is that? Can you just mention it?
No, he doesn't want to. He doesn't have to mention. He doesn't have to mention.
Look at However, okay, let me ruffle his jacket. However, there's also another party that believes that most sustainably developed society in the world are societies that have allowed people's creativity, people's entrepreneurial innovativeness to flourish. And you know what? And we saw it when they were in government. We may not like the way they disrespected us, and we voted them out. We may not like the way they were rancorous within their party, and voted them out. But you know what? They were giving us 7% GDP, even if it was not percolating to the grassroots. And you know what? And when these people came, because of their lack of conviction in letting the private sector power society to prosperity, some of their policies in Abuja as we speak are quite strangulating of the private sector, and that is why you are having this incremental minimalism of 1.5 to 2 in a society where population is growing annually by 3%. We need to be costing at between 7 and 9% GDP. So that is the irony. We have ideologies, but we don't have good communicators in the party.
All right. Now, please take it easy when you want to defend your candidate.
Yes. I'm not boiling. You see, when you have a case, you don't need to boil. You express it seamlessly, and I think that's just what I want to do. And Bola has done a good job of
Bola will be fair.
Yes, of helping to talk a bit about Sowore. But what is even most important, Veronica, is that if you look across the country, part of what is missing, even with the not too young to vote bill, is that there are no young people. The political system is...
When you say there are no young people, how do you mean?
No, comment. In the two political parties, major political parties, deliberately, the system skews young people out because you need at least a minimum of 5 million naira to even buy a form.
That depends on the party.
Yeah, that's why I say the two political parties. In fact, the APC, their forms are even more expensive this election than PDP.
Yeah.
So they don't want young people. In the first place, I don't know how a 25-year-old person is going to get 5 million naira unless you steal it or somebody gives you. And then when you go to raise funds like they do elsewhere, he was talking about raising funds. And I heard him say people do not believe in it. And I said that is a lie. Even Stormy Daniel, who is an adult film actress, went to GoFundMe to raise money. Majority of the people in America said, wow, she's a prostitute, we're not going to do that. But she still raised $6 million. Shura is raising money. And I don't know of anywhere in the world where you go to raise funds for any cause where everybody believes in it. If one or two people wrote that we disagree with what is going on and you take that as generalization, it also amounts to your own depth intellectually. Because I believe that as we go there now, you see a huge crowd there, and this party is now up to 7 months old. There's a very massive crowd in the convention, like I said.
Does that crowd determine the level of acceptance?
Nobody was paid one dime. There is
No,
nobody.
I'm just asking, does it really mean that we have accepted this person
This
and we are ready
party
to
is
go
growing
all out
organically.
to vote?
No,
this
I'm not
person?
talking about the whole Nigeria.
Yeah.
We're not in a hurry.
I know.
We're building a party that is growing organically.
You're talking.
Not when you want people, you take money and hire people. No, we don't want to do that. We are looking for a party that will grow organically. And Nigerians should just watch out because we are going somewhere and we are going to get there as a matter of time. But to also tell me that a 47-year-old man who is sufficiently educated, who has sufficiently spent all his life fighting in Nigeria for democracy, fighting criminals and dictators, is not qualified at 47 to run for the presidency of this country. It also tells us the quality of young people that we have in this country. That at 47, somebody feels that Shore should not have contested for the presidency of this country. It puts a question mark on the depths of whoever is making that assumption, as a matter of fact. And to be able to shift attention from these two political parties, I had a lot of faith. I must say it here. I have sat down on this chair before to defend APC. And I will say it again and again, that those two political parties, if anybody out there is thinking that the two of them are the same, that person is a liar. These two parties, I don't know, what is the correlation? What exactly, if there's anything that is different, I keep saying, maybe it's the president. Because as it is now, there is no difference. I say it again, there is everybody between 1999 and now that we wanted to kick out of government, they have almost found their way into the APC. And as a journalist, we have exposed corruption. I write for Sahara Reporters. In the past 4 years, we have consistently exposed corruption in this government, that nothing has happened. Nothing. As a matter of fact, the following day, you see the same people being absorbed. As bad as PDP is, Daniel Kanu, if you remember him, the man that used earnestly asked for Abacha when he wanted Abacha to come back. He defended Abacha. Abacha gave him money. He did everything. He wanted to contest for a seat in the Federal House of Reps in Abuja.
PDP refused him.
He spent 75 million naira on PDP, and he went there, and the party, as bad as we thought PDP was, they said, no, you can't bring your baggage into the party. We are going to reject it.
They take everybody.
And then every Tom, Dick, and Harry is moving into a party that says they are
And
fighting
you people are trying
corruption.
to...
It's a lie. They are
Gentlemen,
not fighting any corruption.
All right, we need to
They are
quickly
one
go
and the
on
same.
this short break, and the discussion continues when we return. Stay with us. All right, you're still watching Standpoint, and before we went on the break, we had Agbajalingo talking about the current government, that's the APC, not fighting corruption. But then, Jermaine, I come to you now. You remember that was one of the cardinal points of the party when it was coming into power in 2015, saying it was going to fight corruption. And now here we are, someone saying that the party or the government has not been able to fight corruption.
Well, contrary to what some people will have you believe, that the APC is not fighting corruption, I think the figures, the records and statistics show that this administration has actually fought a lot of corruption. Look at the EFCC, you will see that they have records with a lot of, had a lot of convictions, and they're prosecuting a lot of people on a daily basis. The whistleblowing policy has actually blossomed in this administration, and the government is doing everything in its possibility, in its power to ensure that corruption is no longer longer associated to that Nigerian brand. And even internationally, they're recognizing the effort that the great president, President Muhammadu Buhari, is actually doing towards fighting corruption. Now, some people, maybe new parties, or they may feel, who may not have experience in politicking, they may feel that you just come into place and operate a revolutionary and a kind of dictatorial kind of government and just
perhaps it was how the government played their cards and saying it was going to make a revolution in that aspect.
Revolutionary takes process, and people of principle, a party of principle like the APC knows something, that the rule of law is something that must be upheld. Principles must be followed. The judiciary must actually be given room.
No, sorry,
No,
gentlemen,
the judiciary
we have to be orderly.
Room, you know, the executive has to play its role. Now, if President Muhammadu just saw someone who was, so to say, quote unquote, corrupt, was alleged to be corrupt, and he put that person in jail, it's the same people that will say that he must follow the rule of law. He did not go to court. The civil rights activists will start shouting too. But this man, this government, has stood its ground and said, we're going to fight corruption in the right way. Because fighting corruption in the wrong way is corruption itself. So we don't need just an organic growth, as my brother said earlier, that Nigeria has to grow gradually. And we need a party that can come into power as the APC that can actually deliver geometric and catalytic growth to the Nigerian economy, and President Muhammadu Buhari can actually do it. I believe so. Yeah, it's a process of transformation. You know, change does not happen in one day. It happens gradually. So let's, after 4 years, things will change.
I sat down on this table defending the budget. You guys are not... When they removed the Lagos-Calabar Railway from the budget and the confusion started, the chairman, Senate Committee on Finances from Cross River State, Senator Wanino, I was making calls and defending. I said, no, this is from Lagos to Calabar, my state. We defended it. But you know what? It is not different from the way we saw it. 16 years of PDP, that road and railway was in the budget for 16 years. 3 years now, APC budget is still there. It will be East-West Road. It will still be there for the next 8 years. No. And we'll be hearing these lies every day and lies and lies.
Now, 16 years
we are not writing anything.
We are writing the wrongs.
We are not saying any new roads. We are not saying any new
Agbajalingo, Benjamin is trying. He's holding a difficult fault here.
We have to be orderly, please. We have to be orderly, and we have to also we have limited time, so we have to move on quickly. Now, I come to you, Barrister. A lot has been said. You said something that I'd like to, earlier on, that I would like to quickly talk about. The young people no longer believe in the crop of politicians we have. And that's a challenge, because the future, we have an election ahead of us, and our future is hinged to some of these politicians. What can we do? How do we move forward?
Yeah. In one of the programs, I attended one of the programs, I said, because there was someone at the other side, and it was saying that, yes, the young people should hold on for now and should come back in 2023. And I said, fine, well, it's good, but nothing is stopping these young people to take this seat 2019 if we are ready, if we believe in ourselves.
But weren't we ready when we championed or fought for the not too young to run bill?
Okay, good. Take a look at this. Yes, we championed not too wrong. There's bill. Yeah, the bill gave us...
There's an act.
Sorry, there's an act. Sorry, it's been signed. And okay, there's an act. The act allows us to go ahead. But then, it didn't cover the finance part of the...
Not too poor to...
Not too poor to...
It didn't
cover the finance part of it. Like he said, if you look at the major two parties, yes, people are saying, yeah, we can afford 5 million, we can afford 45 million and thereabout.
It wasn't holistic.
But then, we can have a party that will not steal. We can have a party as a youth coming together, because there was a time, this same time, number of them came together to say, okay, yeah, pact, right?
Yes.
They came together and probably they had one candidate, that's Fela Drotoye. Then the next thing, then some said, oh, they were not part of it, oh, they would not take it and all that. See, we don't need this. If we are coming together as youth and we want to tell the world that we are different, that we want to play the game differently from the way our fathers had played the game, we shouldn't start this way.
How should we start?
In as much as we are talking about democracy, in as much as we know it is, I wanted to ask my brother here, the Shore convention that is going on, do we have other contestants in the primaries? Is there any primaries?
Yes, there's going to be
I mean, presidential primaries.
Is a consensus candidate.
Oh, is a consensus candidate?
Yes.
Yeah.
No,
Of the
that's
party.
it.
Of the party. Yes.
Of the party. That's what I want us to establish. Now, you can hear that. He's a consensus candidate of the party. The other people scattered. Now, we're divided already. Shore's party, the team, we're talking about youth coming together. Even because when we're talking about growth, there must be a force first. Now, the force, we have to come through revolution. Now, the revolution we are talking about, the revolution we are talking about here is not the revolution of stick and guns. It's not the revolution of fight and cutlasses and all that. We are talking about intellectual revolution in which all these people come together, we talk to ourselves. We say, okay, this is the way it is. We are in a mess. How do we salvage this mess? That is how, when we come together as one, even if we're going to have, let all the political parties that the youths, initially, what I said initially was, do we have to form any political party? Let us flood every other party, the PDP, the APC as youth and, just take over. But people are saying it's not possible. Former President Obasanjo said, he made a statement. He said, see, these people will not give you. You have to take it. And that's the truth. Those people are not ready to leave that office. The people that were in government before I was born are still in government today.
But
And
when you look at the parties now,
Yeah.
do you see anyone being able to challenge these parties?
When you talk about
When you talk about, you've
the
said
popular parties
the
now,
popular
or
parties,
every
that
other one.
is ready to challenge them for that seat and bring about that revolution. Do you see
Even
anyone?
You want to challenge, where's the money to do that? These
All
people
right.
have the money we don't have.
We need to
To
move forward now.
throw around, we don't have that. That is the reason why we need to come together as a body. We know we don't have the money,
That's a bit
but we have
delusional,
the we have the numbers.
That's a bit delusional.
How?
It's very utopic.
No, it is a that is what we call revolution.
No.
That is what we
No,
call revolution. It is a
Gentlemen,
I think it's my turn now.
It's revolution. It is a process.
Gentlemen,
I
It's
think
not going to come one
it
day.
has to be one after the other. You said that it's not possible.
It's not possible.
Why?
It's delusional. We have 93.
delusional.
We have 93 political parties, and for anybody to just think because your age is below 40, we must all come. Even because you are below 40, your ideological dispositions are different. There are some people like I will never sit with. I'm above 50, but there are some people in their 50s I will never sit with them. You know why? Because my worldview is totally contrasting to theirs. Now, and that is how it is to below 30.
So how do-
So that
So
is
we
why
cannot
have,
come together to have
that
that
is why-
revolution? Is that what you're saying?
that is why we have 93. You see, when we are on a platform as hallowed and as powerful as this, we must talk to our audience within the context of real politique, not idealism. Idealism is good for the classroom, academic environment. Real politique is real politique.
Absolutely.
Now, the fact is that they are young, like I rightly said, many youngsters in Nigeria are disillusioned with the political process. I was a politician in England. It's the same thing. I just came back from England.
Please, you need to make your points very quickly
It's the
because
same thing in most liberal democracies, except in a place like Australia, where it is statutorily mandatory for you to go out and vote. Any liberal democracy, majority of the people are generally disillusioned with the political process. But you know what? What we need the youths to do, or somebody like me,
Yes, quickly.
will admonish them to do is mark your agenda well, communicate effectively. So many people out there, they bought into the idea of a street salesman who parades himself as the best this thing in the world, and they voted for him.
All right,
Trump.
well, we need to move forward now. Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, Senate President Bukola Saraki, former Governor of Kano State Rabiu Kwankwaso, Governors of Sokoto and Gombe State Aminu Tambuwal and Ibrahim Dakwembo, former Foreign Affairs Minister Sule Lamido, just to mention a few, are some of those battling for PDP's presidential ticket. By the end of today, one of these bigwigs will emerge as the party's candidate. Which one of them do you see being able to give President Buhari a good fight? Would this choice be a walk in the park, Agba?
Well,
4,000 candidates, delegates rather, 12 candidates.
Bola has said something that is very important, that there's no need for us to talk idealism. We need to be realistic. If I look at that list, I don't think that there is any one of them there that will be able to beat President Buhari in 2019, unfortunately. As I sit down, I want President Buhari out.
I didn't hear you well. Can you say that
Yeah,
again?
I want the president out. Yeah, I want President Buhari out, and I want him to become a statesman. As far as I'm concerned, after these 4 years, I don't think he has the strength to change Nigeria. He won't be able to do anything in another 4 years.
So
But
none of the 12,
But
none of
the
the 12
reality is-
the most painful
candidates.
thing is that PDP as a party has exposed itself as one party that is incapable of existing as a cohesive force when they are not in power. After today, I'm sure that the party will break into several pieces.
Wow.
Some of these
Why are you
candidates
so
will
certain?
find
Their
some
ego.
convenient
Yes,
political
their
vehicles.
ego.
Some of them will go.
They are
and
moving around not because they love Nigeria. They are moving
Yes.
around because they want a ticket. And once they cannot get it today,
You will see how they will
meetings
go.
will start after meetings in the night, and then they will go again. And then what will be left will just be a carcass. And something tells me it will be a battle between Shewore and President Buhari. But nevertheless,
It will be a battle.
I would have thought that if the party was smart enough to remain as a cohesive force, and then take somebody like Dan Kwambo, because after the primaries, trust APC, they will go to town and want to tear whoever they bring out into shreds.
Yes.
A Dan Kwambo will have very little of death to throw around. If they had looked at somebody like that, or if they were able to keep a Donald Duke behind, or a Peter Obi, and then to try that combination, averagely, they land within the age bracket that young people, because most young people who praise Peter Obi and the rest of them, forgetting their corruption, the image that they see on the platform and on social media, you know, because some of the people who talk a lot on social media these days were not born when democracy came in 1999. So anybody that has 1 million followers on Facebook or Twitter is a hero of democracy for them. And so if we take it like that, and that is actually influencing the pattern of voting. People are falling in love with the Peter Obi because of what they see on TV. If they had brought in that combination, something tells me it would have been a long haul for the APC during the campaign if they have people that can market this too well. But from the way it's going, the battle is between a Tambuwal and Atiku. And I think I can
How did
bet
you arrive at that?
it is going to, people are stepping down already. It's between, and of course the host wants Tambuwal.
The host wants
Tambuwal. And
Atiku has the
a
deep
pulse
pocket.
to be able to.
And the host too is making Tambuwal relevant because
You know.
of the deep pocket of the host governor.
And I can bet you here that Tambuwal will lose even in Sokoto. As a matter of fact, in the general election.
Can't win
He
anything.
will lose even in Sokoto against
Can't win
Buhari.
anything in
He won't
Sokoto.
win. And then if you go and bring Atiku, the APC will go to town. They will tear him into shreds because there are so many baggages here and there. So for me, very painfully, it appears that there wouldn't be very much for President Buhari to do.
So, Jermaine, so even Esaraki, you don't see him as a contest?
They're just
That's not
performing
a fair
their...
question to ask Jermaine.
No.
You're practically giving Jermaine a podium to market, over market.
You've said it all. You said it all right now.
I only asked the question. I didn't say anything.
Your question has an answer to it. You know that it's not going to be a challenge. You know, they're just performing their party duties there, and whoever they bring out, if they're able to bring out one person while they still squabble, we already have someone who has a track record, who has done great for this country in the President Muhammadu Buhari. He's going to take Nigeria to great places, and you said that he may not have the strength to do that. Great leaders like him know that it is not together everybody achieves much. Teamwork makes the dream work for Nigeria. So ultimately, he's going to gather people that's going to help ensure that this Nigeria of our dreams is actually going to be built. And people are talking about not too young and all that. Whose administration actually put that in place? It was this great... Wait, I'm coming. It was this great administration.
When the legislature was debating it, you guys didn't support it.
I'm coming. But we supported it and we put it apart. We've made the dreams of many young Nigerians come to a reality. On this panel,
Really?
yes, on this
How?
panel, gradually, he said about the social investment programs, the first ever in Nigeria's history, and we are doing it with great vigor. And we have our teething faces, but it's going to be great.
Though.
Yes, everybody. But you know, yes, we are pioneers as a party and as a people, and we're going to make it happen. Now, for example, now on this panel, and people representing other parties and other ideologies, I'm the youngest person here, still in my early 30s, and that shows that the APC actually gives opportunities for the youths. Okay. Well, let me tell the youths of Nigerians out there.
Are you running for any position?
I'm not yet, because I understand.
and he's made it.
Wait, you know, I understand. Wait, I'm coming. I understand that for you to actually rise, you must actually stand on the wings, on the shoulders of your elders. Really? And that's what many young Nigerians must know, that you can't just rush into politics.
Isn't that what they have said, birthed godfatherism?
I'm not godfather. Everybody has a godfather. When you are born, they give you a godfather. Even in politics, you don't expect anything.
I don't know about that.
I have a godfather.
I don't know about
real.
that.
That is reality. So that's realistic. But what we understand about politics in Nigeria, that Nigerian youths need to understand, that there are 4 things. People, listen to this and take notes. You need to have 4 P's for politicking. First of all, you must have principles that you go by, that you hold on to there, your own core values. Secondly, you need to have people's support. You must connect with the grassroots. You must be popular in some ways. Also, you need to have a platform, a credible platform that will be able to drive your dreams. And I believe that the platform that can drive Nigerians' dreams right now, of course, is the one that is doing great for Nigeria, the APC.
Thank you for that campaign. I need to come to I need to come to Barrister.
It's good in the US.
Well,
Now, I don't know
I've learned from great leaders of the APC.
if you share the same opinion as others, saying that they're amongst the 12 candidates for the PDP, none of them is a strong contest for the APC, that's for the President, Muhammadu Buhari, because, you know, we can't just leave this to, this is a critical decision that has to be made. And for our democracy to thrive, there has to be a contest, a healthy one at that.
Well, the reality on ground is clear. The truth is, I'm with him. I don't see any of the candidates or aspirants in PDP matching up to President Buhari as we speak. When this whole Buhari go started, I was one of the people that said, no, Mr. Buhari, sorry, you can't come back. Just leave peacefully and let's have someone else. Let the APC party bring out, you know, another candidate. You don't have to be the only candidate in APC to be our president. We can have a better candidate, I mean, in APC to become the president. But the noise went, and now the party has said that he's the one, you know, that they are bringing is a consensus candidate of APC right now as we speak. Like he said, the only candidate in PDP list will be Dan Kwambo. But as we speak, like you said, from reality and from what is going on in Port Harcourt, I don't see Dan Kwambo coming up to, I mean, to even if he gets the ticket.
I disagree a little with the rest of my...
let me just finish. Even if he gets the ticket from PDP, I don't see him giving President Buhari a good fight.
A good fight, okay.
Yeah.
Let me disagree a little. I want to reckon with the fact that realpolitik tells me that my colleagues are essentially right. However, there's a dictum I learned in England, and that dictum in a liberal democracy is not a dictum to actually be discountenanced. And you know what? Osun's gubernatorial election has also helped me to reaffirm the potency of that dictum. And that is the fact that in most liberal democracies, opposition parties seldom win elections. Ruling parties, either out of arrogance, disconnection with his electorate, internal squabbles, or a total disorientation of his ideological perspective, tend to lose them. APC is actually contesting against APC in 2019. Buhari is contesting against Buhari. And you know what? You know what? A good PDP candidate with a fine and articulate, coherent messaging system will give APC a run for his money.
And that person is not part of the 12.
It could be. It could be.
Okay.
And where I'm sitting now, I'm saying at this juncture, Buhari is the candidate to beat. But to think that, for the APC establishment to think that they can be complacent in view of people's experience in the last 3.5 years and some of the materials that could be used against the APC, they may suddenly discover that an election that they won 4 years ago with 140,000 votes, they may suddenly, even if they win it, they may be winning it by 400 votes now.
A win is a win.
But I think you need to note. But I think I think you need to note this. This is very pertinent. Don't forget that the Nigerians are still finding it difficult to breathe from the 16 years of PDP.
Absolutely.
No, because
Absolutely.
whether they don't want APC, whether they don't want APC
Let me round up by countenancing a very important point you've made.
Okay.
If anybody told me at the major electoral demise of PDP that anywhere in southwest Nigeria, I'm a Yoruba boy, I don't pretend to know about the south or the southeast or the northeast or northwest or north central. If anybody told me that in Yoruba land, PDP would suddenly gain the degree of resuscitative fervency it has gained in Yoruba land, I'm talking of PDP winning by-elections in Oyo, PDP winning by-elections in some places, and PDP struggling to lose, not win, struggling to lose with 400 votes to Aregbesola, one of the archangels, ideological archangels of APC.
Tell you something about that side, because it was between Aregbesola and the people of Osun.
No, so
because you don't seem to get my counsel.
No, I do.
You don't seem to get my counsel.
I do. But
the same thing is going to happen in 2019 in Lagos. Lagos, as at this juncture, given the dynamics that brought,
I don't see it happening.
Look,
I don't see it happening too.
No, gentlemen,
don't get
one after the other.
Don't get complacent.
I guess
Even
the
it
point
will
has
not
been
be
made.
as close as the last one.
Gentlemen,
People should not get complacent.
No.
the point has been made.
Yeah.
The party should not be complacent.
We are not complacent.
That's
We
the
are
point.
confident, and we're
Because
also
as a country, we need a formidable opposition.
yes, they can build their strengths and all that while we are moving forward and building Nigeria, taking it to the dreamland. However, what we must understand is that the APC is doing a great work, and it will keep on doing a great work. Now, we've had some challenges, but we are going to keep overcoming them, and that is fact. Now, you must understand that what we've seen. No, because he mentioned something about we losing our grip. No, we've won 2 governorship elections. One in Ekiti State, which we did very well, and in Osun. So we're not losing our ground. We are building, and if you see the list of people that are coming out for APC candidates, you see intellectuals, you see bright minds. Right. So we are gaining grounds in Yoruba land and around the nation. Trust me, we're going to do great. And in Lagos, Sanwo-Olu.
All right. Agba, go ahead with your point. You wanted to make a point.
I really praise Sanwo-Olu too.
But you know we're going to make it.
If you guys get...
For 16 years, the PDP controlled the 2 arms of the National Assembly. Very well. And they remained rancorous. They were unable to achieve anything. In the past 3 years, the APC controlled majority, absolute majority in the House of Reps.
Not absolute. It was absolute. The Senate. In the Senate, you can't call it absolute.
Okay, it wasn't absolute.
Marginal
in the Senate. And almost all of the important bills that concerned Nigerians that were supposed to unleash, for instance, the petroleum industry bill that President Buhari even refused to assent to. Every other year, we have had problems. The party was unable to do anything tangible, just like PDP. Now, presently, if you look at the roll call of the members of PDP and APC, okay, let me explain it to you using my state as an aphorism. They just finished the APC primaries. And all the candidates for APC, I mean all but one, which, in fact, the one person, the Minister of Niger Delta, Pastor Sani, had his initial roots in PDP. All of them are members of PDP who decamped to APC. Senator Waneno, Ndoma Egba, Venancio Sikkim, Honorable Paulada, they were all members of the Federal House of Reps, all under PDP, former this and former that in PDP. They came into APC. And the original founders of APC, as I'm talking with you now, have no voice. They can't do inside APC in Cross River State. So it the contest is between Ayade of PDP and the other PDP people who came to APC. So when people are talking about APC and PDP as if they are different, the picture is blurred in my eyes. They are not different.
You need to clean your eyes.
These people are one and the same. I keep maintaining that. See, the APC is as criminal as PDP.
No, we're not criminal.
They are stealing as much money as PDP is stealing.
Please, your choice of words.
See,
we're not.
See, okay. See, there is corruption. Let me explain to you.
APC.
I will keep repeating this. I will explain again and again. Babachu, who has now been nicknamed as grass cutter, was caught with his hand in the jar. It took the president over 1 year to send him home. Till now, he has not been prosecuted. As we are talking till now, he has not been prosecuted.
They are investigating and they're taking...
Okay, I see you are investigating.
You
are investigating.
You can't just throw people in jail.
And okay, let me give you another example.
Your party needs to learn from...
I am saying that in this country,
the APC.
Captain Kohli, I'm sure Captain Kohli is watching me somewhere. We spoke with Captain Kohli. How money was loaded to go and bribe people in Ekiti, led by Senator Obanikoro. How he used an armored personnel carrier to break the security gate at the airport to move money. Now they took him and did a playback again. As I'm talking with you now, he is in the same party with Mr. President.
Obanikoro was a strategist in Osun.
In Ekiti.
In Osun for
yes.
APC.
Now, as I'm talking with you now, in the same party with Mr. President, they are still investigating.
No, you know.
Now, you see, the truth is that these people are one and the same.
No.
They're one and the same. Let's not fool ourselves that there's a difference between the two.
But then,
all these are allegations.
You mentioned something about challenges, and there are issues of internal squabbles. And people are afraid that this could tear the party apart ahead of the
Personality
elections.
clashes, internal...
There are issues, even with the primaries that took place.
Are you saying Jameen?
People are afraid that this might tear the party apart.
Well, it's not going to tear the party apart. You know, even when you have a relationship with a friend, or a partner, a husband or wife, you know, you have differences. Yes. And what does that do? It brings you closer. It builds you stronger.
Now, so far has it?
Yes. We have we don't have a group of, we don't have division. People that do not buy into the progressive ideology, they've left and they've settled in the parties that they've actually find accommodating to their visions and their dreams. Now we are working together. This is the storming stage of our team building process. Ultimately, we're going to start, you know, riding to victory ultimately. So you need to, wait.
Let him finish his point.
All those personalities are there for a purpose. Oh, yes. You understand? They're there for a purpose. And what we are doing right now is that the APC accommodates people. The APC focuses on what is best for Nigeria. The APC understands in the rule of law. And the APC understands that what Nigeria needs right now is not the same of the past of 16 years of misrule by the PDP or parties who don't have experience to take it to the future. We are going to work out our differences. We are going to get stronger. We're going to get bigger. And we're going to ensure that Nigeria regains its foothold as the giant of Africa, and people is going to be the envy of the world. I have hope.
We can only hope for the best.
I think you want to hold a program like this, let a PDP person also. Okay, Abagalingo is balancing.
But I think we need to get this clear, because they want us to do the reality. They want us to talk about reality. But the thing is, I need to also move a bit above that. Yeah, above that. Because see, we have over 90 political parties in this country.
Yes, sir.
But all we keep talking about is APC and PDP.
It's the same in all the
Hold on. No.
There are more than 100 parties in America.
Hold on. I am appealing to Nigerians. These other political parties should come and convince their people. Yes, I need them to convince the people so that we can move beyond APC and PDP.
Amen.
Yes.
Thank you.
Amen to APC.
Thank you.
Amen
thank
to
you
change.
so much, gentlemen, for coming on the show.
Buhari.
We have run out of time, but I must thank you for your thoughts and your contribution to all of the questions. Well, that's our package on today's edition of Stand
Quiet lady.
Thank you so much for watching. Remember, you can watch a repeat of this edition tomorrow by 7 a.m. I'm Veronica Danikboy. Enjoy your weekend.